quite sunny, and thank you so much for having me on board, Natasha. And just being able to share, I think I trust that I will be able to impact somebody's life one way or the other, and that is sufficient for me.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump in on the first question that will tell us a little bit about your journey. So take us back,
Wow.
Nats. How did you become, and you'll tell us what you are in your current role. Is it everything you dreamed of? If yes, why? If no, why not?
Interesting. Sure. So my journey, my career journey. So first off, I must say to you, I started off working at the age of 13. Of course, this would have been this would have been part-time during the vacation period and so forth. That's when I started working. Like I said, strictly part-time during vacation period. Quickly, when I started into my career, I started off in the retail industry. And within the retail industry, I started off in the accounts department, quite different to where I'm at currently. Yeah. So in the accounts department, that's where I got an appetite, I would say, for costs and controls and being able to understand what is required. And that is quite helpful now in my current portfolio of a talent acquisition manager, where I'm responsible for controlling people cost. So in my journey at within the retail industry, like I said, I worked in the accounts department for a couple of months, and then a position became available within HR, which has always been my passion, to be able to assist persons from that perspective. So of course, I quickly applied for the role, was successful, and within the time that I actually entered into the role of human resource, the then human resource manager resigned. 6 months after, actually, to be exact, 6 months after she resigned. And with her resignation now, I had to quickly adopt her responsibilities. So in that literal terms, either sink or swim, that was pretty much it. Sink or swim in that time frame. But in a nutshell, I have a total of 13 years working within the human resource industry. And within the last 8 years, I would have spent it on core talent acquisition and business partnering. So after the retail industry, I remember at first when the human resource manager left, I was quite apprehensive as to how I would have been received from the staff, because we had approximately 400 to 450 staff members, and they were quite more of a mature bracket, and me being so young and junior, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to be received? So I remember being quite apprehensive then, but my innate leadership skills, being the first of seven children, I think that was quite helpful for me to be able to gain the trust and to create a sort of a really good working relationship with the team, one that actually lend for trust and credibility. And I must say the working relationship was quite enjoyable, and I left the business after 4.5 years, and where I covered all facets of human resource management, including industrial relations and employee relations. So that was quite an experience there. I did a stint thereafter in the banking sector, financial services sector. Within that stint in the banking and financial services sector, that also helped me from the perspective of finance and appreciation for finance and people-centric, because of course you're dealing with customers, high-profile customers, and particularly confidentiality, which is critical to human resource management. So I would say that would have been my takeaway from there. You're taking me down journeys upon journeys here. So thereafter, the banking sector, I went into an employment agency, where I spent 5.5 years. I spent 5.5 years there, which would have been core external recruitment, being able to an advisory, and being able to assist our clients. What was crucial for my time there in an employment agency, as you would know, you are assisting all a wide scope of clients, you name the various sectors. And what was crucial there for me is being able to find that right candidate for your clients, which is critical in human resource management. So while being at the agency, I remember I was headhunted by Digicel to join the company by the former recruitment manager who would have been moving on to another territory. And well, there you have it. That's where I'm at now in my current portfolio. I would say it has been a natural progression given the lead up of my career development and growth. Is it everything that I have hoped for? Well, the stars are the limit. The stars are the limit, as you can imagine. I'm on a journey, and I would say my journey continues. What I've learned over the years, it will continue to be with me, would stay with me, and would add valued experience wherever I go in my career path.
All right. So we're going to go on to the second question, your contribution. How have you and or your organization contributed to the development of the economy and the society?
Interesting question. Let's see. So let me take it from the perspective of the company first off, because as you know, well, given the pandemic, our current situation. So let's start out into the current pandemic and the impact it has had on us as a society and Digicel's parts in this entire thing. So as you know, we would have had a huge demand or a huge increase for digital transformation, in which sort of brought about a holistic approach, both from the private and public sector. Now, with that, I would say, luckily for Digicel, we would have been already on that, well, shifting gears more or less in that area, being a digital operator. So Digicel continues to play a significant role in ensuring that our society stay connected, to ensure that we stay connected throughout every aspect in the country, providing you with connectivity from our the vast suite of our services, whether it be our smart home services. You're keeping you safe from that perspective. You're on the go. And again, tying it back into how COVID impacted us, you would have seen where for instance, offices were closed. We had to adapt to a working remote environment. You would have schools were closed. Schools were also impacted. So we were able to quickly adapt and bring the nation into that particular digital forefront where you can actually work remotely and work at your best, staying connected. Now, I must add to that, with the Ministry of Education, we would have partnered with the Ministry of Education, providing schools, the schools of our nation, with devices to be able to do online schooling. So I remember there was this adaptive school program under the ministry partner with us, Digicel, where we distributed over 600 laptops and refurbished laptops to schools, whether it be mainstream schools, rural schools, special needs schools. So I would say that would be critical to how we give back to society. And of course, as you would know, Digicel has our Digicel Foundation, which is the corporate social responsibility arm of our business. Now, that particular umbrella of the business, they have been quite active, and this goes around the clock, whether it be for COVID or non-COVID. And they would have been quite instrumental in assisting persons who would have been affected by COVID, whether it be loss of job, loss of income. They were able to distribute approximately 1,000 food vouchers to NGOs to assist those persons. So I would say around the clock, Digicel would have been quite instrumental in assisting persons, society as a whole, during this pandemic, or you name it. Me personally, I spoke about my journey, starting off in my career in human resource management, and being an HR practitioner. I know it's a role that I treat with pride and integrity. And in saying that, I mean me being able to provide someone with the opportunity to make an impact in their life, whether it be finding new resources or new talent to come into an organization to make a significant impact to that organization. I have to look at the value system of these particular persons that we are recruiting, for instance. what are their value system like? Does it exemplify what the particular organization that you're working for? Does it exemplify those values and cultural system, and vice versa? It's not only just one way. Similarly, the organization would have to take into context what are the values that this particular potential employee has and can be beneficial to my organization. So it's a two-way street. And all the same is just to ensure that these persons that I am interacting with, whatever they're coming into the business, they're now coming into the world of work, a matter of fact, and they might need interviewing skills or tips. They might need resume writing techniques, or, so it's being that beacon of light for those persons, and at the same time, persons who are already within their scope of their career, be it C-suite or otherwise. I play a critical part in ensuring that we have the right persons. I understand their skill set, what exactly is their career path like, and how we can assist in that process. How am I being that instrumental person in their whole career path?
So let's talk about your outlook now, Natalia. What significant changes have you observed over the past 2 to 3 years? And what's your outlook for the next 12 months?
Within the last 2 to 3 years, let's take it from the perspective of talent acquisition and all that consists of. So talent acquisition, within the last 2 to 3 years, I would say would have changed its approach. So before, as we know, human resource recruitment took on the approach of a transactional approach. You fill the bucket, there's a gap, you just fill the bucket, and that's it. Within the last 2 to 3 years, I must say, you're seeing the need for a more transformational approach. You're getting more hands-on. You're being more visible as your business partner with your stakeholders. So it requires you now being more interactive, understanding what might be the business needs within the next 6 to 12 months, and how can I proactively approach those needs. In other words, you're being proactive. You're trying to get on top of it, be strategic in your approach, because you're trying to tailor to the business demands. I think that's critical. Outside of that, diversity. We usually use the term that DNI. So diversity and inclusion, also belonging and inclusive. So globally, I would say there's been an increase to encourage more diversity, inclusion, and belonging. That would take on a deeper demand. Even throughout the Caribbean, we'll see more employers are actually being receptive and open-minded to diversity as it stands. Now, prior to COVID, we were accustomed to this brick and mortar, working in the office. That's it. Yeah, there would have been a lack of flexibility for most organizations to adapt to a remote working environment or a virtual working environment. Post-COVID, that would have changed the dynamic now, I would say. So what we are going to see, let's say next 6 to 12 months, you're going to see more and more organizations operating in a more flexible manner, understanding that, hey, output is not affected whether you're working from home and wherever you want to work from, or in the office. Output remains the same. And once output remains the same, it creates more flexibility, because what you're seeing now, the trends you're seeing now, Natasha, you're seeing trends whereby persons are working multiple jobs remotely. Take for instance, somebody is working, a citizen is working in Barbados. And because of remote work now, they now have the opportunity to even tap into some remote work in TNT back at home. So it gives you that flexibility. And I must say though, at the same time, let me just stick up in there. The caveat to this must be good performance management system, metrics in place, because obviously some persons are going to take advantage. So you must have proper systems in place to effectively actually run that. There has been some demands for artificial intelligence. As you know, within the last couple of years, you're seeing more and more companies, internationally more so, adopting the approach for recruitment, whereby they're using the machines to start sourcing and doing the recruitment, pre-selecting and that kind of thing. While that might be a demand, while that might be a demand, let's say within the next 12 months or so, I can foresee safely that you cannot at no means overlook the human element of it, because people buy people first. You need your people, you need your interaction. So in other words, you, Natasha, you have to sell me your company, you have to sell me your culture. A machine can't do that. At the forefront, that's what I would say would be changing, what I would have changed within the last 2 to 3 years, and what I foresee within the next 6 months to 12 months.
All right, let's talk about your hurdles. What was one of your most challenging experiences, and how were you able to manage or overcome?
Wow. Now, because you said most, I'll amount it to just that, most. So let me take you back to growing up. I grew up in an impoverished and broken home to be exact. And like I said, I'm the eldest of 7 by default. And we lived in Port of Spain, Picton Road, Laventon to be exact, for the first 13 years. And thereafter, we moved to Gonzales. And like I said, an impoverished, broken home, my education at some juncture got affected. And because of that, it impacted my common entrance exams. I failed common entrance. And of course, yeah, that was quite an experience. But thank God, subsequent, you would be aware of the post-primary system it would have had in place back then. So luckily for me, I did post-primary system exams, and I was able to pass for Mokrapa Junior Secondary. So me passing from Mokrapa Junior Secondary, now I went into the school. I would have gone into Form 2, and I still had my challenges. I still had my challenges and so forth. But I recall having this particular form teacher, Miss Sharon Ali. Natasha, I do not know what Miss Sharon Ali saw in me, but she just kept on pushing and pushing and pushing. She was quite instrumental to me pursuing my studies, actually pushing. And so I remember doing the mock exams, 14 plus the mock exams. I remember going through the results with her, and she was like, "No, Natalia, you could do much better than this." And she just kept pushing me, and thank God for that, because in completing my 14 plus exam, I passed for Southeast Government Secondary, which would have been quite a result, I would say. Even from the school perspective, I remember they were quite like, wow, this is really good results, So I went on to Southeast, where I pursued business subjects, like economics and so forth. So while Mr. Flashback a bit, pursued my business subjects, I did not pass my full complement of subjects. However, being the person that I am, I went on to repeat to get better grades. I went on to pursue to get better grades. I did that. From there now, I've never stopped studying, to be honest with you. I have never stopped. I kept on repeating whatever I did. I was not comfortable with the results and that took me to my tertiary. That actually took me to my tertiary studies. So I did complement. I did even YTAP courses. I just continued pursuing studies, just keeping myself active. I did my in tertiary level, I did my associate degree in management. I went on to do my first degree in business management, and then lastly my MBA. So sharing all of that is to say this, because I think persons are often derailed and demotivated by what challenges might face them. My personal mantra is just simply this: challenge yourself. When challenges approach you, and challenges, you are faced with challenges, challenge yourself. You challenge yourself. You challenge the challenge. Challenge that particular challenge. Because when you cower into challenges that life, throws out at you, you're given a the upper hand. So just push on. So I would have to say that would have been my most challenging experience. Definitely.
Wow. That's just like a praise break.
Exactly. It's not something that I guess it's good I'm sharing it now in this forum because it might help someone else. You know, it's not something that I just go sharing, but it might help someone, and I trust that it will.
Oh, definitely.
You're lost for words. You're lost for words.
I'm a little teared up.
Oh my God.
Wow.
To God be the glory. To God be the glory. Had it
To
been for
God
him,
be the glory.
my God.
To God be the
Definitely,
glory.
definitely. All the way through. All the way through.
Oh.
To God.
In addition to all that you've shared, how can we pull out one more
Let's see.
friendly advice you would give to persons getting into business and or leadership?
Wow. Business or leadership friendly advice. Okay. For business, let me start off with business. So for persons who are interested in starting off with business, I would say start now. Right? Start now wherever you are at. You just give it your best and start. Do your research. And in doing your research, of course, you do your business plan. Have a plan B so that you can counteract whatever challenges might face you. In this year, you need to be quite resilient. On the next end, I would say, from a leadership perspective, or something that I have close to me, is treat people like the way you would like to be treated. Be authentic. Be your genuine self, right? Go about leading from an exemplary perspective. Okay, trust your employees and expect the same in return. Provide empowerment, allow persons to take ownership in their particular area. I think those qualities are quite synonymous with, and be empathetic as well. Those qualities are quite synonymous with a servant leadership approach, and that goes a long way in leadership.
Yes. So nuts.
Yes.
We are going to jump into the other side of C-suite. Are you ready?
Bring it on.
Tell us a few of your favorite things. Favorite food, song, book, people, place to visit, etc.
All right, so food, song, book, places. All right, sure. My favorite food is Chinese. I just can't wait. Chinese. My favorite, I don't have a favorite song. Sorry. What I would tell you, I have genres of songs or genres of music that I listen to, which would include soul music, gospel, of course, reggae. So yeah, that's my genres of music. Favorite song, my favorite book. Interesting question. My favorite book, I would have to tell you, is the book that actually is the roadmap, the guide, which navigates me through life. That's the Bible. That is the Bible. Now I say that loosely and without any apology, because, for instance, let's take the book of Proverbs. That is guiding you, teaching you about the principles of wisdom, how you're able to navigate life, telling you about just keeping your tongue still, which I need more and more, keeping your tongue still from time to time. And I'd have to say definitely the book of Proverbs. It's wisdom oriented, giving you guidance as to how to go about life challenges. Yeah. People. And my people would have to be my family and my friends, my advisors, my mentors. Yeah. My mentors, yeah, definitely. And the last thing is, places. I'll give you two places. So France is one. The second the second one would be Africa. Now, as we know, Africa is a large continent, right? However, they have 54 countries. So for me personally, I want to be able to visit, to be able to see the length and breadth of Africa, the affluent side of Africa and the less affluent side of Africa. That would be my hope and wish. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump into some laps.
Sure.
Tell us about your clumsiest moment.
Clumsiest moment. Natasha. Natasha. My clumsiest moment. Okay, all right, oh Lord. My clumsiest moment would happen to be my most embarrassing moment. Sorry. I remember. Okay, disclaimer. years ago. Let's remember years ago. Trying to parallel park on one of the busiest streets of Port of Spain. Okay, so you know what? Typically, when you're trying to parallel park, so I'm trying to parallel park on the right hand side. Typically, if you're trying to parallel park, you'll go closest as possible to the area to angle yourself into the spot, right? To angle yourself into the spot. So Natalia is trying to parallel park on the right hand side. I'm so sorry. I went on the left hand side. Literally, it's a wide road. I went on the left hand side, and your girl reversing from on the left onto the right, reversing to parallel. Oh, by the way, did I say it was one of the most busiest streets? So there were men lining on the roadway, and Natasha. Perhaps if they weren't outside, I wouldn't have felt bad if I got a little horn and whatever. I would have been fine. But I remember one of the guys, he was laughing. Oh gosh, he was uncontrollable in laughter, running up and down. I couldn't believe it. Truth be told, I would have laughed at myself. I would have laughed at myself in hindsight. Yeah. I eventually got assistance from a security guard actually. He came out and he helped me. I was like, oh my goodness. However, might I say, I am a professional parallel parker now. Yeah, I am actually assisting persons to parallel park.
I am so sorry. All right, so let's take you into some frowns. Your pet peeves.
Oh boy, pet peeves. Off the back, I can tell you dishonesty, disingenuousness. Like I said, just be your authentic self. And how you treat people is also a critical part for me. How do you treat people? Don't treat people inferior based on their status. Like, for instance, how are you treating your janitors? How are you treating your security personnel? That's a total pet peeve for me. Treat everybody with respect and, just hands down. Total pet peeve.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Total pet peeve.
I agree with you. All right. Playtime. What do we do for fun? Your hobbies.
My hobbies. I enjoy maintaining my fitness. I enjoy exercising. I enjoy outdoor activities. Let's say going for a hike. Family time is also important for me. Spending time with my family, whether it be just watching movies. I enjoy comedies. I enjoy action. Going to the beach. Sometimes reading a book. I enjoy. That's me. That's my hobbies, I would say, in a nutshell.
Okay. Nats, you believe we are on to the end of our little time together?
Wow, really? Okay. And here I am enjoying this moment.
Oh, yeah. Same here. So we have one more question for you.
Sure.
You ready?
Sure. Bring it on.
All right. Gonna ask you to make a wish. Tell us.
My wish would be to fulfill my purpose. And saying that would mean I'm already on that pathway. So it's to continue following that. However, there might be things that I'm not aware of. So it's to find those, follow God's plan, and to fulfill my purpose. And in the process, what I think is critical would be, in the process, how do I assist persons along the way? I might interact with other persons in the process, on that journey. How do I assist those persons? So, the purpose for me is twofold: not only about self, but giving back to others.
This has been awesome. Awesome, and certainly not goodbye. But on behalf of the Key Business community and all the persons who would be viewing this video, we want to say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing so openly and so expressively all the time, as we say it all the time. See you around the corner.